Welcome, welcome to Freaked Out with your psychic medium host, Liz. Today, we're going to be talking about the Taylor Swift abduction and what I feel on that and how I came about coming across that feel and all the little bits in between. But I cannot wait to share with you guys. So here we go. Just an FYI, we will be back for the Summer Wells Part 2 revamping. I'll most likely be dropping that on Friday or Saturday, but that is getting recorded today, so it shouldn't take long. I'm also going to start doing some introductions on these videos because a lot of people are confused as to what I do and if I'm assuming things or how that works, so I'm going to explain it all. So I am a psychic medium and I've been doing readings for over 20 years. We're getting closer to the 25-year mark now. Can't even believe it. In the last 5 years, I've been working heavily on cases. I did cases prior to the 5 years, but the 5 years is where I've been really trying to excel the unsolved case side of things. I started doing that on TikTok. I had so much success with doing all of these unsolved cases, including Alicia Navarro. I had predicted a lot surrounding Alicia Navarro, and it all came to fruition. So it was something that I felt like I just had to continue to keep doing. I've also had a lot of situations like Hiram Horman's stepmother trying to do things. I've run into a lot of things. And as we carry on doing a lot of the revampings of these cases, I'll talk about them. But it's crazy, and I cannot wait to share everything we have done because we've covered so much. Even Joshua Davis's family reached out to me once. So fingers crossed we can continue to keep working on this. So what I do is talk about predictions and things that I physically see, messages I am receiving. I speak to spirits, and I also do past, present, and future readings as well. But so many topics to cover, and I cannot wait. The content is unlimited. Now, today, we're going to be talking about a topic that we've only started covering the last year, which was alien abductions, aliens in general. I have never been someone to believe or involve or engage because I'm afraid of it. But I've now since turned a corner, and we've been doing a lot of alien related things, and I cannot wait to continue to carry on. Now, in order for me to explain what I mean in relation to Taylor Swift and an alien abduction, I have to explain a few things. So when it comes to UFOs and aliens, there are actually a lot of different species. I've only really looked at a few of them so far, and I'm pretty blown away by all of the different species. There are good ones, there are evil ones. It really just depends on where you are in the galaxy. There's different dimensions. There's a lot involved. But basically, we are not alone. I know how we all come from different cultures. That's the same thing when it comes to UFOs and aliens. Now, I used to believe that in order for aliens to abduct us, they have to come to us, but that's not necessarily true. I've only felt the ones that have physically come here, but there are also ones that can do abductions or at least trying to help you out in your mind. It's intense, and it makes sense though, because when it comes to channeling aliens, they can change their language so that they can understand you. And if you are someone who does any sort of channeling like myself, I don't know how to describe it, but it's nothing like I've ever felt. I'm a little bit afraid. I'm going to engage with some of the bad ones, but we're going to try to stay on the normal side of things. I'll let you know if anything ever changes. They can also do abductions from their ships as well. And they have the equipment right inside. So they don't have to take you to their other planet. Most of the time, they don't take people to other planets. They don't necessarily have to be present. Even the spaceships that they have an invisibility cloak on them. So anyone that comes near at all cannot access unless you see it before it camouflages. They also have this spray that their spaceships kind of illuminate. And this spray is supposed to make us forget. So when we do see things and remember things, things are always very hazy for us. I just wanted to give you a little bit of information so that you knew what I was talking about when it came to Taylor Swift's Abduction. I also want to put out there that I am a huge Taylor Swift fan. This is not me trying to hurt or harm her in any way. I think it's really neat. And I'm hoping that Taylor one day will confirm this information for me. But we can continue to keep dreaming. When did I become a Taylor Swift fan? I really liked her Reputation album. Like, that was probably the first one I started to listen to on the radio. But for me, it was when she put out that music video, Calm Down, and was standing up for drag queens and gay people. That was it for me. For me, I felt like I had an ally and a support. And to me, to be an ally for something you don't even have any sort of, and for me, being an ally was heavily important, especially somebody who's up there. So at that moment, I became a Swiftie, and I've been one ever since. And I mean, it just gets better and better with her. Regardless of what people feel about her, she is amazing. She is a genuine soul. And no, she's not doing any witchcraft. Although if she was, who cares? It's nothing about you. You're not getting witchcrafted by Taylor Swift. Not that that's a bad thing, because it isn't, but we'll explain that at some point too. I was just preparing a Taylor Swift prediction video to do with Landon. And by the way, that is available on the VIP side of the YouTube channel, so highly recommend checking it out. This in the morning with my iPad like I normally do. And when Landon wakes up to go to work, he always puts on Down Bad, and he has it as his wake up. And I kind of started to doze off a bit, and you would not believe what I saw. Normally, when it comes to the dreaming side of things, for me, it's not so detailed. I see shit, but I'm not an observant person. I don't pay attention to anything around me, which is a good thing and a bad thing, I think. The amount of detail that came from this, it was incredible. So let me explain. So I had initially seen Taylor Swift laying on a board, which this board was like metal. It was cold. It was not being held up by anything. It was just a slab, and she was laying on it, and she was strapped with 3 thin straps, including a strap on her head, around her arms, and then a little bit below the waist. She also could not speak, but her eyes were panicky. Like, her eyes were getting big. She was freaking out, and I wanted to help her immediately in this moment, but for some reason I was just frozen in time. A few moments later, I noticed this species, which from what I can see, looked like the tall grays, but a smaller version of them. And they were not gray, they were green. And they were wearing, because there were 2 of them. One was shorter than the other. One was a little taller, but again, like 5'5". And then the other one was maybe 5'8". They were wearing these chrome, leathery kind of outfits. When you would move, it would change color. So it would be like purple and greens and blues. Like, it was really pretty. And it had a little shimmer to it too. And there was a bit of style, but no style that I had ever seen. Anyways, these 2 aliens also had like masks on their faces. And the 2 of them were talking to each other and looking at Taylor at the same time. And obviously I was freaking out. And then they pull out this thing that looks like a compact mirror, and they lift it up, and then they open it, and there's all this powder inside. And they take like a puff pad and they start powdering her face, which wasn't really like changing any sort of appearance of hers, but it was almost like this powder was a calming powder, because instantly she started to smile and she was okay and she wasn't afraid anymore. So I'm thinking that was just to kind of take the fear out of her. They also had on rubber gloves as well. They were reaching for different tools, but like the tools weren't to their satisfaction. They would pick something up and they'd put it down, pick something up, put it down. And these tools, like, I'd never seen anything like it. But then there was like a little box on this tool table, and the taller one, opened it up, and there was like this white light inside, and it was just a ball of light. And he was holding it and brought it over to Taylor. and then put it on her head, and it kind of like absorbed into her. Moments later, she is happy and she's trying her hardest to let them know that she wants out. So they unstrap her. She sits up. She hugs them. She does like a fist bump with them. She's trying to teach them some sort of like hand gestures, like fist bump, clicking the fingers, snapping. Like there was a bunch of little things she was doing, and she was incredibly grateful for them. I didn't understand the exchange because I couldn't hear them talking, but I can sense that whatever they did was ultimately something to help her. Almost like she had like a writer's block or something along those lines, and the aliens were basically helping her. In that moment, I was able to see too that she was wearing like her Tortured Poets Department dress with all the words on it too. So it was pretty intense. In that moment, all I could do was watch. I couldn't interact. They didn't see me. Nobody could see me. Everything was like just kind of like I was watching in a vision that I was having. It was seriously intense. And then she skips off like never before. She comes back a few moments later, lays down again. He straps her up, and then she goes to sleep. And that's when I realized that I was totally in dreamland and woke up. So now let's analyze what happened there, because what? So what I believe happened was I was heading into dreamland, but I was also still very heavily attached to my predictions with Taylor Swift. And instantly, I felt like I was involved in one of her dreams. I know that Taylor, in her mind, this was not an abduction. It was just simply dream related. The aliens were helping her, and, she woke up and carried on with her day and probably had shit tons of music and lyrics to kind of go over. So when it comes to aliens, they really enjoy, peeking in on people that have a high profile status in the world, including Taylor Swift. So they straight up abducted her to basically see what she was all about and see if they could help her in some sort of way. And ironically enough, like she is to other humans, she was super, super sweet and wonderful and kind, and they felt that from her and wanted to help her as much as they could. Aliens have a fascination with us. Although they have certain governments that don't allow them to do things, they are certainly not allowed to abduct. And by abducting, I mean like taking away Taylor Swift because she's like a hot commodity, but they definitely watch from their social media platforms. And yeah, I think a few of them have TikTok, by the way. I know Taylor doesn't realize that she was abducted, but I really feel like she was. And I think they're going to come back for her again. Not in the sense of like hurting or harming her, but to kind of help her in the future. I keep seeing that Taylor is dropping a lot of Easter eggs surrounding her next album. Now, I feel like there's going to be a lot of alien references, and I wouldn't be surprised if there is an alien theme going on when it comes to her next album, even space in general. I see her doing something with a clock as well. And I was thinking, clock. She's done clocks before, but now I'm thinking it's more like time travel. So perhaps time travel and also aliens and UFOs. I feel like something's coming there, and we're going to find a little bit more out each time as she drops these little Easter eggs. So when it comes to abductions, I think that when they go back the next time, again, it'll be a friendly thing, so nothing to worry. And I also feel like they checked out Travis too, to see what would draw Taylor to somebody like him. In the alien side of things, not mine. They look at Travis like he's a little ordinary. In my opinion, he's awesome, but that's kind of how they look at him. I do want to also point out that they are not allowed to get involved in political things when it comes to this planet as well, but I kind of hope they do. But anyways, we have an array of videos that will be making its way to our YouTube channel when it comes to aliens. So if you do have any specific questions about them, drop them in the comment section. Also, make sure to like our video or share our video because we want to be seen by everyone everywhere. Now, when did you guys start becoming Taylor Swift fans? Please tell me in the comments too. I also believe that Taylor has psychic abilities as well, but that's a video for another day because I'll just feel it in my gut. You just know. You know when you know, you know? But anyways, guys, thanks for joining me and stay freaked out.